Max, Representative Markey, and I'm a resident of Fort Collins. I'll have to admit, I've never ever been active in political issues.
Join the club.
I'm just the average American working mom, and I have been observing what's been going on for the last 7-8 months, and I just came to the place where I couldn't just watch anymore. I'm outraged. I'm outraged, Representative Markey, at the audacity of our nation's congressional leaders to have repeatedly and in various terms conveyed to the American people whom they supposedly represent that we are unintelligent, uninformed, and basically a nuisance to them. America is literally being hijacked by a handful of people who have deemed themselves the only ones that really know what's best for all of us. I'm outraged at the manner in which this all-important issue of controlling health care costs is literally being shoved down our throats. I'm tired of the smooth talk, i.e. lies, to persuade Americans to follow them down this path of catastrophe for America. This is supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. Perhaps this is my claim to Americans to stand up and be brave and demand that our freedoms be protected. H.R. 3200 is sure death to many of our freedoms if we do not. According to the analysis of H.R. 3200 by civil liberties law firm Liberty Counsel, H.R. 3200 does include these things contrary to what we're being told. Section 122 and 203 specifically outline that government will ration health care. Section 163 says that government will have real-time access to our financial records and our personal information. Government will have the ability to restrict enrollment to special needs people according to Section 1177. And Section 152 gives the government authority to give coverage to all illegal aliens.
Whoopee.
How can anyone with conscience be suggesting these things? In my opinion, health care discussion is not about health care at all. It's about government takeover of our freedoms and our right to privacy.
Yes.
It is absolutely insanity to be contemplating H.R. 3200 and its consequences in a time of recession and national debt spiraling out of control. The end result will be declining quality of health care and an ever-increasing mortality rate. This bill will leave Americans with few options, if any, as we stand in lines at doctors' offices, local unemployment offices, and undoubtedly for some of us, as we bury our elderly parents who are denied care. Please, Representative Markey, open your eyes and ears and listen, for the American people are shouting, H.R. 3200, you shall not pass.
Like Mrs. Mack, had not been active in political activity before, but I think it's time we should be, and maybe this is a good catalyst. I'm concerned about the unborn child, and I'm concerned that it's not being cared for, and that there will be money, our tax money, that will be spent to be taking the lives of unborn children by abortion.
Representative Markey, I have 2 questions. My name I am a local Fort Collins retired senior citizen. You're a friendly evil monger.
You have a mock name?
And first question. I have faxed you, I have written letters, I have phoned your office, I have phoned your Washington office. and all I get is a form letter. It says the same thing. I've got quite a collection. My second question is, I come from a different country. I had to study the United States Constitution, and I had to take a test. And I would like to know why my hard-earned money I have made in this country has to pay for the health insurance of illegal aliens.
Representative Markey, I have a couple questions for you. Recently, Nancy Pelosi was down in Denver and was introduced by a congresswoman from Denver as her boss. I'd like to ask you, Representative Markey, who do you work for?
Yeah.
Is it Nancy Pelosi? Is it Nancy Pelosi, or is it the people of the 4th District? I'm also a senior citizen, and I went to your first Congress at the, what was it, Congress at the Corner, I guess you call it, down at CSU. I asked you a couple of questions, and you answered it by reading your talking points and never did answer any of my questions or most of the people who were there. In all candor, I don't think you know what's in this bill. And I don't know very many people who do. I've tried to read it a few times, and frankly, I just gave up. There's just too much in it. I suggest that you people who want to know a little bit more about it, because it's still there, it's still a possibility of this thing passing, I guess, in some form or the other. I've read a number of the articles that the Heritage Foundation puts out, and you might want to get online and read them. They're very enlightening, although I'll tell you, I still don't understand most of it. The major issue I have as a senior citizen is that I know that I've heard all kinds of numbers with respect to how this thing is going to be funded. But one of the things they said is that they're going to use $500 billion that they're going to take out of Medicare to help fund this. So one of the questions I asked you, Congressman Markey, is how are they going to do that? How are you going to do that and not ration care for us poor old guys and ladies that are here? Because I think that's going to be the ultimate outcome of this. I think it's going to be true whether or not you have a public option or co-op or whatever you want to call this thing, because ultimately the axe is going to fall on us old people. That's where it's going to end up. So I'd ask you to take some time and read the bill and understand what's in it, and instead of listening to the dictates of your leaders in the Democratic caucus, and then make a decision that's in the best interest of your constituents in the 4th District.
Yes.
Thank you.